All right, perhaps you are looking ahead, looking out for your kids, and you have a 529 college savings plan. You know the best part is the tax benefit. It allows parents to put away money without paying taxes on interest earned or on withdrawals used to pay for education. But guess what? President Obama wants to change the program, removing some of that tax benefit. The proposal has been widely criticized, but the White House defends the idea, saying many 529s are held by people who make over $200,000 a year. Well, for more, I'm joined now by financial advisor Rob Wilson. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
All right, this outrages a lot of people because they figure, you know what, I don't want to have to take out loans and have my kid graduate from college with great debt. And so let's plan ahead. Let's put away this tax-free money. And then now there could be taxes imposed on this. How does that, what's the proposal?
Well, you're exactly right. Because look, when I first started analyzing this as a way to make college more affordable, it seemed pretty bizarre. You know, my grandmother used to tell me not to cut off my nose despite my face.
Right.
And it seems like that's exactly what's happening here. I mean, listen, the president and the first lady themselves put $240,000.
Which their debt was just paid off during their presidency, which is amazing.
Exactly. So they put $240,000 away for their daughter. So clearly they understand the reason that this is a benefit. But even beyond that, we're in an environment right now where we've got $1 trillion in student debt. More than 10% of those are more than 90% delinquent. You've got other people who are deferring the loans, continuing to just accrue interest. And so the problem is, if you can't have an incentive to save your own money, it just doesn't really make sense to me to have people take out more loans.
So many financial advisors just like yourself are big advocates for 529s, plan, et cetera, So what kind of taxes are we talking about potentially if the president's plan goes into place?
Yeah, this is a good question. So what happens is when you set up the account can grow on a totally tax-deferred basis. So you don't have to pay any taxes on gains or dividends. But when you go to take out the taxes, that's when they want to take a little piece. So right when you're getting ready to go pay for your tuition or your books or your room and board, that's when they want to have the contributions tax. Now, here's the thing. It's only on the gains. It's not on the money that you actually put in. And this is the way these accounts were taxed before the Bush tax cuts in 2001. So really what he's trying to do is take it back to that time.
So would this apply to everyone and anyone who has a 529 if this proposal, you know, is adopted? Or is it an issue of those who open a 529 after this proposal is adopted, they would be the ones who would fall into this category of taxes?
Absolutely right. It's only going to be on new contributions, because if you've been saving for, 5 or 10 years, you don't want to have that stuff taxed. So if this goes into play, which I'll tell you what, it's got a very slim chance of passing, but if it does, it's only going to be on new contributions. But you know what, when I started thinking about this as a political strategy, it might actually be genius, because it's not about education.
It might be genius?
It's about wealth, the wealth gap. It's really not about education. And so I work with a lot of athletes, so I'd like to talk about it in terms of sports, right? And so why we've been talking about Deflategate all week is because people want to know that the game that they love is fair. And so, people don't hate the Patriots because they win Super Bowls. They just don't want you to cheat. And so in the same way, we want people to be successful and to have a level playing field for everyone. And so what he's really trying to address is the wealth gap and trying to figure out how do we do that. Now you start a conversation where people saying, look, don't touch my 529 plan, but this is an issue, so what are some other ways we can address this?
But then the other message is, doesn't this remove the incentive?
It absolutely removes the incentive. Now, what they may do is put a income limit on it. So similar to the way that you can't deduct student loan interest if you make more than $80,000 as an individual or $160,000 as a married couple, that's what they may put in place so that they don't totally take away the benefit for everyone.
Wow. All right, Rob Wilson, thank you so much.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
having
Good to see you.
And the first one relates to how you can earn more money, starting with Uber and Lyft.
Yeah, the first couple of ones are all about the sharing economy. And so there's a couple of innovative individuals who have figured out how to help us be more efficient with things when we don't need them, starting with Uber and Lyft. And this app allows you to turn your car into a taxi. So if you want to make some extra money,